Ryan, have you ever thought about being an architect?
Have you ever thought about being a truck driver?
Have you ever thought about being a salesperson?
What about something in the medical field?
Realtor? Listen to Career Paths every Thursday
Wherever you listen to podcasts,
and on YouTube. You might learn something.
you might not.
It's your life. Make it happen.
Memories fading, we all forget those not so shiny things you do.
Career Paths.
Oh, it's coming. So,
Kind of.
yeah, a little bit. If I can read it.
Once again, you don't have to be specific. Whatever, I'll ask you name, rank, serial number. No.
Oh, yeah.
Are we up? Are we happening?
Yeah.
Am I
Sure.
sweating? For some reason, I'm sweating down here. Is it warm down here? Or just comfortable?
I live at 4 degrees more than.
Hopefully all that's
most
still
of the time.
set, because I didn't even check any of it.
Good job. What you do best? What do you do best?
Nothing?
Thank you.
That's what I do best. You have me doing the intro, huh?
Oh, no, I got the actual intro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got the actual. Don't panic. I got you. Yeah, I figured I'd throw you a second right afterwards just to see how you dealt with it.
All right.
All right.
Jeez.
Ryan came on set.
Am I just doing the whole thing here? Right?
Almost. I threw a lot your way. Hey, we just want to see if you're any good.
No, I'm not. Let's do it.
Try some new things out with me. I'm fine.
All we can do is fail miserably. That's what we do here.
Turn my cup around so everyone can see.
Exactly. Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
See, we see.
Yeah, where's your branding? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
There's some
Hey, I even got the shirt on today.
There you go. There's the stickers on the water bottles.
we haven't got, we haven't
Well,
got
we
that
put
far.
them in the cups.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
So throw it in the cup. The cup is clean.
That one there?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I wash
see.
stuff just to make sure.
Nice.
Of course.
I come down a couple,
He
make sure it's
washed it, so.
semi cleaned up, and just because it does get dusty. And well, last time we did an interview, it's been a couple weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just throw it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Good enough. I'll get it.
Perfect.
yeah.
Good job.
Throw it in a hidden spot.
Welcome to Career Paths by Infonet. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau, with your other host. Are you sure it's host or
Yeah,
not co?
it's definitely host.
Because I talked to Mitchell and Paul at the at Infonet.
Good guys.
They are good guys, but I'm not getting the. We need to talk after the show. Apparently, I don't know.
Apparently, we should set up a lunch date with them. Just saying.
If we can ever arrange it between the four of us, I don't know that. Jeez, because that Mitchell guy, he's a pain. I mean, they're really busy.
Yeah, they are.
They are.
Really busy.
The guys that run.
He's the greatest guy, though. out of
Mitchell
all
is?
of them.
You
Oh,
think
yeah.
so?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you sucking up to the most or what?
Yeah.
I just feel bad because someone has to be in charge of you.
Well, good luck with that. Let's see. There you go. Go ahead. What
All right.
What were you doing, Ryan? You're the hostess.
I
with
was
the
going
most.
to be a host. If you could shut up long enough.
Did you guys have me here for something?
So, today we have with us.
Who do we have with us?
We just met 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
It's Keith. Keith,
Yes.
what's your last name?
Keith Harvey. I'm the purchaser over at Smokane, one of the dispensaries here in Spokane, Washington.
Nice.
Awesome. So. Who wrote that? Give us a little background about yourself. Married, all that type of stuff.
You're not married, no kids?
I got the one.
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah. I'm
And dogs.
single. I got 3 dogs and a baby that I'm 50% custody of. So we trade off. I get him every Thursday through Sunday. So that keeps me busy on my weekends for sure.
Heck yeah. How
So-
old is he?
2.
Wow.
So 2 in September. So he is keeping me busy for sure.
What's his name?
Ronan.
Nice.
So yeah, Ronan Scott. So
Where'd you get that name from?
Marvel actually.
That's what I-
Endgame.
That's
So,
what I
yep.
thought.
Yep, it was one I could get my girlfriend at the time, ex now, to go along with. So we ran with it.
Okay, there you go.
So,
Hey, Ronan.
yes. So yeah, that I worked at GameStop since I was 16. Well, 3 weeks at Wonderland running go-karts, but I got out of there. So and then GameStop for 10 years and ended up taking that experience and that knowledge from that inventory management background that job is a lot of.
You ended up being like assistant manager.
Yeah, I was an assistant manager with them for a lot of time and ended up they kept telling me they were going to get me a store. I own a house here in Spokane, so I wasn't really up to relocate, and that was kind of how they were doing it at the time.
Yeah.
Because they have some old managers here that have been here forever.
And still are.
Which, yeah, still are. Still go
Yeah.
bug them every once in a while.
Yep.
So, but yeah, great guys. But yeah, that was one thing. They weren't really going to get me a store in town, so I ended up going out to a different cannabis dispensary, worked for them for 2 years, was their operations and inventory manager, and then took that experience with me over to Smokane, did a little bit of gig economy, so did some DoorDash and some Uber kind of in between, and
Get you by.
found
So
myself
Are you originally from Spokane? Or?
yeah, born and raised here, born in Sacred Heart downtown, so
Jeez.
yeah, just kind of made my path here and settled in, because houses were the right price when I bought mine, so
Oh, yeah.
that worked out
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So property values are nice right now. So.
But if you sell it, you got to try to move somewhere.
Yeah, and that's impossible at
Yes.
the moment. So, but I'll just take my equity and roll with it.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, moved into Smokane and I worked my way up.
How long have you been there?
2.5 years now. So.
And you started there doing what?
Just bud tending. So just running around selling weed. I'm still doing that when I'm not busy in the back with orders or.
And now you're out
weed.
purchasing,
Yep.
sampling.
So, and literally purchasing is like buying weed, like Amazon shopping. It's a lot of online marketplaces. You just kind of click on the stuff you need and you just
Wow.
order enough. With
Things have changed in the
compared to
last
yourself
10
or-
years for this market.
Yeah, you don't roll up to your guy and flash your lights anymore. It's you actually have options. So it's definitely nice to be one of the stores with the biggest selection in town. Too.
Really?
So
Okay.
yeah, we try to.
I don't partake, but it's just not my thing. He's offered to give me samples. I'm not sure if I should, how this would end up.
Oh my God, edibles with me today.
There's a lot
So-
of people watching are going to say, yes, you
Yeah.
should. But
Yeah.
no, I'm just
Maybe
saying.
calm me down. Would it calm me down or
I don't
bring me
know, but
up?
maybe make you a little loopy. It might be fun. So
Guess it depends on what kind we give you.
Yeah. but yeah, I'm really enjoying kind of where I'm at now, and
Obviously, you're having fun with it.
yeah, I gotta say it's fun to be a legal weed dealer. So never thought I could say that, but
That's true.
it's like I ended up smoking weed to get through GameStop, and look where it led me.
So are you saying that at one point you were an illegal weed dealer?
No, I never
Okay.
did. So I was gainfully employed at GameStop through those years, but
Good.
my girlfriend at the time had her medical card, so we tried a little bit of growing because that's legal when you've got a card, and just kind of dabbled in that and got hooked up at a medical dispensary. It's right next to my house, and kind of foot in the door there. Started shopping at some of the recreational shops once they opened up, and that's who hired me.
And this started in the state of Washington. You said 2014.
2014 was
Is
when
when it
the
became legal
initial
and-
legalization. I'm pretty
Right.
sure.
Okay.
So that or 16. But
No, I
yeah.
believe it was 14.
14, yeah.
14.
So 2014, and yeah, it just kind of has been a massive like tax revenue
Right.
income for the state. So and we were looking at 2.4 billion so far.
Wow.
So
Jeez.
yeah, it is nice. It's filling the potholes.
So you already answered that question. I don't know if I'm up next or you're up next, Brian. But how and why did you become interested? Already just hit that one.
Oh yes, I did.
So when you jumped over, was there somebody that you already kind of knew that hired you? That you became a, because we know how this works in retail, in whatever. You get to know people,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's like, hey, you should come work for us. Was it that part, or you was just shopping there, and then a situation came up, and you said, oh, I should apply for that, or they should.
The owner actually came
See?
out and hooked me at the shop I was working
Okay.
at initially. So
Where you're at now?
no, that was
Back when you were at GameStop?
Yeah, back when I was
Okay.
at GameStop, and she kind of convinced me, and it's like, okay,
Come on
threw
over.
in my app, and yeah, within 90 days I had my keys and was one of their operations managers.
Wow.
So yeah, kept me busy. So and yeah, definitely I was starting at a higher wage than I was making at GameStop, so
Right.
that was nice.
I do remember that.
Yep, it's like that was the easy way.
I've known Keith for a few years. I know most of our guests for a while. It's
Yeah.
good to run into you, and here you are, a couple weeks later.
I was his boss at GameStop. So
Yeah,
that was a
think
lot
about
of
that. How's that working for me?
fun. Little what 24-year-old me. So
But did I ever give you attitude?
yes,
Did I?
yeah, you're Vic.
I give everybody attitude.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's, just me being sarcastic.
Yeah,
But I was, we
sarcastic.
always got along well.
Yeah, oh
The
yeah.
way he answered that, it was like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
do
are
you not
surprised?
know that this happens everywhere?
I apparently am kind of naive at
It's
times.
like listeners of this should understand that.
I'll just leave that now.
So, has there been any steps or any schooling or anything like that to kind of progress in this field?
That was one thing that I really thank my current owner, yes, because he's all about, we're partners in this with the farms, working with them,
Right.
and I get awesome special pricing, stuff like that for our store because I'm willing to talk to our vendors. And that's something a lot of purchasers at other shops really don't do a ton. So it kind of gives us a little bit of a special edge. But one other thing with my first one, they were very much numbers, very much buy low, sell high, things like that. And I definitely took some of that to heart and learned a little bit. And it was very much the business model of GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
So with the trade system, not to
Right.
say anything bad, but it's getting better.
Everyone knows it though.
Yeah, everyone knows it. So it's buy low, sell high. So, and yeah, it's definitely lessons I've taken from all three positions and kind of merged them into being the purchaser at Smokane. But I was just doing the inventory intake. So I was talking to a lot of the vendors, but I wasn't doing a lot of those deals before. I was just kind of dealing with the aftermath, which wasn't the best thing. But yeah, it's definitely been a fun little road of learning and seeing how GameStop kind of runs businesses, and then their up and downs in the last few years has been kind of fun to see. So I'm glad they're in the spot they're in now because they're definitely doing better.
Yeah,
So,
there's a rough
Some
year or so.
new management and stuff taken over. So
So do you know, is there any sort of like training out there for this type of field? Because I mean, it kind of popped up quick and exploded. But
some states require a license, and that's a pretty simple class that's just online. It's mostly because Oregon is one of the states that do require a license, but it's because you're weighing out your product as you're selling it. So with Washington, everything's pre-packed, so it's pretty much retail. There's not a ton of extra education. A lot of the vendors kind of provide that for bartenders, which is really nice.
Yeah, does your company, the Smokane, have education for any of your sellers or your
companies? Yeah, we take any flyers, anything like that the vendor's willing to give us, and we'll put it on display next to the product. We'll have it there available for the customer, and also we'll have it available for our budtenders to read up and kind of learn more so they can speak intelligently.
Yeah, that's the word I want. Budtenders.
Yeah,
the ones that are actually there to too. Yeah,
the ones selling the weed.
Right.
So, and yeah, with that, they've done even online programs, online schooling, kind of basic things where it's videos they watch and then they ask a couple questions, so they kind of go from there. And then YouTube honestly has been a really good thing to kind of point our budtenders to and our customers at times.
Are there specific ones, channels that you send them to?
Leafly and Weed Maps. Those are two that are online menus, things like that.
Look at that, you guys are learning stuff just from...
Yeah, and it's just those that just have a lot of really good education to kind of help new people wanting to get into cannabis or try cannabis for the first time be able to take those kind of baby steps.
Yeah,
so and
definitely.
not overwhelm themselves and ruin their first experience.
Right.
And it is becoming a more and more popular drug across the United States right now. So.
I once again, I'll reference my parents. They were old school, and you have to be concerned, but I have to reference alcohol with marijuana because I don't partake in either. Neither of them particularly work for me. Probably should be doing both of them. Maybe. Shut up, Ryan.
The weed might chill out. Yeah,
but I see the effects of alcohol. I've been in bars all my life, so that effect, and then I see the effects of basic marijuana, what little I've been around, and there's once again, you mellow out typically. And once again, I don't know the stuff nowadays, but typically with marijuana, you mellow out and you want to just be mellow and not do anything, watch TV and eat, munch.
Yep.
And with
that's
alcohol,
you already.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's you already.
That's why I don't need to do
You're
anymore.
not at work.
Trust me, that's why I don't do the stuff because a couple times I tried it years ago. It's like I got the munchies and then I fell asleep right away. So, but just trying to educate. But with the difference with alcohol, there is a difference.
Yeah, alcohol is. I'm trying to think of the word. I'd say marijuana is more of a depressant, so it's a little bit more of a relaxing drug.
Right.
Alcohol can be more of a stimulant,
and
it can cause a lot more violence.
And and issues.
Yes, and we've been seeing that sadly in the news with a lot of the bar shootings and things like that going on. So
it's been going on the whole time.
Yep.
Just I think for some reason media maybe trying to hit on it lately.
Yeah,
for some reason
it's tough. Well, we even had one of our drivers unfortunately pass away in one of those over
wow.
in Tacoma. So
Oh.
yeah, it's even hitting close to home for
Wow.
some of our vendors. So it's
Wow.
crazy.
Yes, Ryan?
Doesn't even apply.
Okay.
So, what's a typical day like for you? Your hours, your tasks?
Yeah, I'm Monday through Friday, which is really nice and
Yeah, no
really
kidding.
easy to balance with the kiddo. So that works out really well. Come in, I open 3 days a week, and then I'm like 10 to 6 for my like inventory shifts. But I do all the order intake, so anything that goes into the system from this, we have to wait for a state traceability system to kind of send it over digitally. So I do all the processing of that coming into the system, putting it into the computer, and putting it out on the floor. So really a vendor, I open the store, vendor shows up, write him a check, get that verified from one of my other employees, and then count the weed and put
So
it in
is
the
that
system.
like through the state? Is that like heavily watched and regulated?
Yeah, like the vendors all have to send a manifest over, like usually it's 24 hours before. They used to have holding where they had to actually hold it on their property for 24 hours, then they could release it and send it over to us. They've kind of eased back on a lot of that recently, but there is a state traceability system that's seed to sale. So like they get the seed in their system, it's got a number on it, that number follows the product all the way through till it's dried, cut, harvested, and out in the stores. So it's traceable all the way back to when they cracked that seed open.
Wow. Very, very regulated.
Yes, very, very regulated. So that's how they got it going in the first place. Since
Right.
it's something that's still federally illegal. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, out of your day, is there certain tasks that you really enjoy and then some that you don't?
I really, with my current spot, I get to do all the really fun stuff. So, yeah, like anytime we're low on product, usually like Monday, I go through and kind of do a pass on all my vendors, which I'm doing most of ours. My owner does a couple he's got close relationships with, but any of that, we need any of that stuff, I send him a text, and we need anything that I order, I just plug it in, and usually if I order it Monday, it's going to be here at least by Friday. So it's pretty instant gratification. It's nice.
Don't mind us, we're just throwing questions out because we're covering it or they don't apply.
Yeah, I can.
What would you...
rattle.
It's all good. No, you're answering questions, and that's a good thing because once again, I'm learning, and I'd never judged before, even when it was illegal, because obviously what I've done in my life, I've been around stuff, and
You worked at GameStop. You worked with a ton of stoners.
did I?
Yes.
I never asked, I never cared, but I just figured, it is what it is. But that I'm talking about other parts before that even, and now you're referencing GameStop.
Yeah, there was a lot of our coworkers that also smoked weed.
Oh, I'm sure. But I couldn't tell. I guess when they came to work, they weren't usually.
No, yeah.
Thank you. And that's usually when I dealt with. I get to know. There's a couple that I'm associated with outside work. There's gentleman's doing something for me personally for one of my custom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
What would you say your biggest misconception the general public has to do with? I would say at this point, marijuana, the sale, and the whole aspect of what you do.
It's that war on drugs from back in like 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
like the whole Nancy Reagan mission of
Right.
that. So that is kind
Bad, evil.
Yep, and it's a lot of the older potential customers that still believe that to a T
Yeah,
because they were raised on it.
we were brainwashed on it.
Yep, and
I would
it's
say brainwashed.
tough because it's a lot of these people, like, honestly, these drugs could help.
Possibly.
And there's a lot of non-psychoactive ones out there now. There's a lot of tinctures we carry that don't really get you high, but it has CBG, which is the precursor. Yep, and it's the precursor to THC and CBD. It doesn't have that psychoactive effect, but it's got a really nice energetic effect and like almost euphoric kind of effect to it. So it's good for like anti-anxiety, anti-depression, things like that. It's like Ease Your Mind is kind of one of the tags on one of the products we have. So there's a lot that can kind of help.
Years ago, somebody was informing me just how the benefits of not just the marijuana, not smoking, but what are the other things within the plant?
Cannabinoids are all the different things, and you have like two main receptors in your brain that take them. The first one really does THC, and then a lot of the CBD, CBG, CBN, they're kind of realizing all these other sub-cannabinoids that do more kind of, I don't want to say medicinal,
used to make rope. and stuff like that.
Hemp, yeah,
thank
and they're deriving a lot of that, like, because you see CBD in grocery stores, things like that now. All of that's going to be hemp derived.
Okay.
So it's all going to come from, because it's now legal in the U.S. to grow fields of hemp, no matter what state you're in. You just got to get a license and you can do it.
Right.
And then you can extract CBD. They've figured out how to get CBG and CBN from those, so they're able to kind of take those and make those into more nationally available products, which is really cool. Because you can buy CBD gummies on Amazon.
So is there a difference between the CBD between like hemp and?
No, it's actually the same cannabinoid, like to a molecular level when you break it down, because it's part of the same family.
Okay.
So, and same with like there's terpenes that are in cannabis, and it's kind of like the flavor, but it has the same effects as like aromatherapy. So you've got linalool that's in lavender, and it's in some of those indicas, so the more relaxing strains of weed. So it has those same properties as you're smoking it, just like you would in, say, a potpourri from some kind of.
You are very knowledgeable on this stuff.
Thank you.
You are very. I'm just kind of blown away. It's a good thing though, and I'm pleasantly surprised, not just to be learning some of this stuff, and hopefully it helps somebody either to get into the field or to maybe help them out in other ways.
And I think it helps change a lot of people's misconception of.
Yeah, I am here to.
So and so what else? What would you? How would they improve it? How would you improve that misconception? Are you aware of any way you guys are doing it besides?
We try
right now. This is helpful.
Yeah, we try to educate our customers as much as we can, and I provide all this documentation. I recommend some really good videos to my budtenders so they can like intelligently talk about these things and these subcannabinoids that they're kind of figuring out do a lot more than they realized beforehand. Right. And like CBN is another one that's in a lot of those indicas, and it's the cannabinoid that makes you sleepy. So we have.
You have that naturally. I
do.
Yeah.
I'm sleep.
But
text him all day long.
A lot of
reply.
Napping. So a lot of people's like first reaction is they smoke, they fall asleep. It happens. I did that for a while. Like as you kind of your body gets used to using those receptors and actually taking in the THC and processing it, you get to enjoy your high a little bit more. So you can actually stay awake. Or there are also sativa strains, which are more energizing, a little bit more on the euphoric side, so good for playing video games or cleaning your house or whatever else you're going to do.
Why you bring up GameStop? The company.
I gotta say, it's one of my pastimes when I'm stoned. But yeah, and it's definitely like I want people to look at it more like the liquor control, because that's actually who controls it in Washington.
Exactly.
Is the LCB, Liquor Cannabis Board.
Once again, I do bring up between alcohol and marijuana, they couldn't control or stop the alcohol because of bootlegging and all that, and so they decided to legalize it and take control of it, just like they couldn't stop the marijuana, obviously. So
the prohibition of marijuana just lasted quite a few more years.
Yeah, it did.
So at least we had medical in Washington, which was a very good system. So it was a lot of people growing in their basements, and they would just donate it to a shop, and the shop would donate money to them. And it's quite a bit more legal and traced by the state now.
It's regulated now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So definitely more regulated. But that's how they had to do it in the medical days.
That makes sense, though. There's ways around it.
Yep.
Where are you at right on this? I got 11.
You're up.
Am I up again? I'm up again. So I know with
know that.
I don't know nothing. I ain't know nothing.
I'm used to that.
You sons of. Income, because I know you're a GameStop, and that was a possibility to move up that way. Income, benefits, 401, healthcare, etc. To where you've been at and what you've done with this field.
Yeah.
In your career.
Like cannabis, or actually my first shop I was at a good $50K a year.
Wow.
And doing well, and honestly I've kind of worked my way back up to that. I left GameStop doing $13 an hour, which is now minimum wage in this state of ours, so which is awesome. But yeah, it definitely has been, because it's all that plus tips too.
Right. So where you at now? Do you have a 401?
No.
Do you have medical?
No.
Okay.
That's one thing. Until federal legalization happens, there's no tax breaks for my owner or anything like that. So I'm kind of in a position where I'm pretty healthy. My kid's got coverage through his mom, so we're covered there.
A possibility of that changing in the near future, or do you see that happening?
I mean,
know it's federal.
Washington, like Health Plan Finder, is what I'll go through when I'm ready to kind of get all that set up.
Okay.
So, but I'm doubling down on the crypto a little bit for the retirement.
There you go.
So
Okay.
I'm enjoying that as well. So
Online playing around.
yep. So,
Awesome.
No Dogecoin though.
No, it's pretty much done now.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah. So, how many jobs / careers have you had?
Out of high school.
I worked at Wonderland for 3 weeks running go-karts.
There's one. GameStop.
GameStop for
Did
2.
you rent
I
the
was
other
there
place? Didn't
10
play it?
years, and
Here.
then
4.
the one shop, and then a little bit of gig economy, a little bit of DoorDash in the middle. And
Yeah,
then,
that's true.
Yeah, it
4.
was like 2 months, and I got tired of driving around all the time.
4.
But yeah, 4.
Rough.
So,
Whatever.
I've had 4 different companies.
Shut up,
So.
Keith.
Wow.
I'm 31, so I'm not that old.
You'll get there. Give
Yeah.
it time.
Yeah, I got a lot of catching up.
So, what did you want to be as a kid? Did you want to be a cowboy, an astronaut, a doctor,
You're a kid.
rock star, podcast
I
host?
haven't thought about that in a
But-
long time.
That's why we asked.
I
you.
would say video game tester because I was dead set on working at GameStop for a while
Yeah.
and just being in that field and that industry. I have a friend that actually just left Blizzard and all of that craziness that's going on down there. So I'm kind of happy I didn't get into
Ooh.
that field because there's not a lot of great ones
Right
to work
jobs.
for.
No.
But yeah, he was down in California. He worked for them for 5+ years and
Wow.
then a whole bunch of harassment and a lot of bad things are going down and leaking out of that place now. So
I haven't been
not a
paying
great-
attention. We'll talk after the show. We'll
yeah,
find out more.
so not a fun place to be, and I'm glad he's found a good spot up in Seattle now. So
Nice.
closer to home, I gotta go bug him.
So, what else would you like to add? Because we're almost done. That was quick and easy, just like normal.
Yeah.
With you, Keith.
Easy.
What anything else you'd like to add for our listeners or watchers to what you do as a career, if they're interested, and or if they want to learn something more and maybe they've never tried it?
Yeah. With that, if you're interested in trying cannabis, definitely take a look online. Leafly Weed Maps has a lot of really good articles and write-ups just to kind of help you pick the right product to kind of ease yourself into cannabis. Because you don't want to ruin your first time by just overloading. Even though I don't think there's a documented case of overdosing on cannabis, overdosing on THC. There were some kids that did too many edibles early on, so that's why we're 10 milligrams. So they cut that down pretty quick.
Well, I think they made a few movies of overdoing it with cannabis, Cheech and Chong.
Oh yeah, that's true. The whole dog shit one. So, but yeah, I would say definitely like jump out there, educate, go talk to your local bud tender if you're in a legal state, or even if you're not. Like CBD gummies are legal federally now, so
That's crazy.
there's ways to try it even if you're not in a legal jurisdiction.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah, and if you're interested in getting into the industry, there's a lot of kind of foots in the door at the farms right now. Shops are kind of hard to get into. A lot of retail background is what they're looking for.
Mhm.
So, but if you got a lot of cash handling experience, definitely jump out, apply. But yeah, honestly, getting your foot in the door at a farm is always a good way to go.
There you go.
So it's labor, but it's a way to hang out with weed all day.
So now to work in the stores,
Mhm.
you need to try all the product to be able to talk about it, right?
I smoke a lot of weed. I'll be honest with you. Yes,
Yeah.
I am not high right now, but
I mean,
I will
yeah,
be
I
shortly after this.
Is it a type of job where you could work there without?
No, we do not consume before shift. I treat cannabis more like I would a beer or wine after work.
Okay.
So I go home, I smoke weed, and go along with my evening.
Mhm.
So with that, and it's actually in LCB law that we cannot be intoxicated on the floor. We can actually get violations and shut down for
Okay.
a matter of days for having people that are
okay.
stoned on the floor.
That makes sense.
Yeah, farms are supposed to follow the same rules.
Supposed to. That's
Yeah.
We'll just go with that.
It's like off and on.
Go with that.
But yeah, it's a great industry to be in. It's been
It's a growing
a
industry
fun
too.
ride. It's a huge industry at $9 billion in sales so far for
That's
Washington.
Washington
alone.
State. Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy. And-
I wish
and-
that was just my store, but
But your store isn't doing
I wouldn't
bad.
have hair left. I don't think.
You're- Trust me, give it time.
Yes,
Give it time.
that's why I'm growing it out while I can.
Been there, done that. Hey, you knew me when
I
I was
remember, yeah.
long.
I see some of the pictures too. They're
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Anything else, Ryan?
I think that's it.
That was easy. Keith, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Finally had you on.
Thank you guys for
We
having
may
me.
have you. We'll probably like maybe 6 8 months and get you back on for an update because we're starting to do that with our guests. We've been on for almost over 80 shows or around 80 shows right as of today.
Nice.
So we'll get you back. We're starting to get former guests back to update and give us more information. Go ahead, Brian.
right.
We're done, Keith.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching and listening to Career Paths. Like, subscribe,
Do all
leave
that
a
crap.
review, leave a message.
If you want to get a hold of Keith, get a hold of us. We'll send them.
Or come see me at my shop.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you are located again
Right off Sprague and Freya. So right off
in
the freeway
Spokane,
there.
Washington. Come see Keith. Alrighty, there you go. It's your life. Make it happen. Until next time. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you.
Brother. Wow,
There you go.
that was awesome.
Ashes to ashes.
Okay.
Take 24. La 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 la.
Career Paths